Okay, sorry about this, everybody. It turns out that I made a mistake. See, in the last video, when you found the zip disk, apparently I overlooked something. Let's go back to the employee room. Now see here, in the two drawers, the one where you found the zip disk. You found the zip disk and other stuff. You're also supposed to find this. It's Henrik's translation notes. That's important. So you can find that in addition to this thing that I found, which was the book on how to use the fancy radio that's over here. Okay, so that's what you were supposed to do. I should have done that in the last video, but somehow I overlooked it, so I apologize. I'm very sad and sorry and ashamed that I would overlook a page of notes and a drawer full of pages. Okay, so we put that on his reality orientation board. He's sleeping right now. And then we can come by later. We'll come by the next day, and using those notes, Henrik uses the notes to help him remember how to translate Maya glyphs, which is important because the password to his computer is a glyph. Hey, Henrik.
Nancy, you have brought me back to my work.
What have you remembered?
I've been working like a fiend. Look at the board.
Okay, so here's the glyph, that's the password to his computer, stone, and here's a riddle, which I believe was written upon the monolith.
This has something to do with the plot at the museum, Nancy. I'm sure of it.
Who was this whisperer of silent secrets?
The whisperer came from a distinguished line of royal scribes. I can't seem to remember her name. But I do recall that she wrote an account of Maya history that greatly angered Pakal because of the way it depicted his ascent to the throne.
Really? Interesting.
How did Pakal wish to be depicted?
From the age of 12, when he came to the throne, Pakal claimed to be divinely appointed the first true authentic king of the Maya. Then the whisperer came along and wrote that Pakal was only king because his mother pulled some strings. It was quite a blow to Pakal's image.
So he put her in a stone prison?
Pakal swore that the whisperer's words would never see the light of day. He put her body, her soul, and her writings all in a tomb and locked it up tight.
Now this is important because...
Wait, Henrik, a prison of stone? We're not talking about the monolith, are we?
That's the idea.
Aha!
Do you think the monolith can be opened?
Good question. I'm certain that there's a dirty rat trying to get into that tomb. But this is where my memory fizzles out. If I could only figure out why I took the Pakal.
Do you think there is anyone I can trust?
Please don't breathe a word of this. There's too much at stake.
He doesn't remember anything else at this point. Like, see? Let's ask.
Henrik, I need to know where you put the Pakal carving.
Who knows?
Do you know anything about the theft of Prudence Rutherford's necklace?
I can't remember.
See, he really doesn't remember anything right now.
You rest up. I'll be back.
Be careful.
Okay, so what you do now is you check Henrik's notes. You could have read them at the hospital, but I'm going to read them on his computer. Or not on his computer, on Nancy's computer. Now that we know the password to the zip disk is stone. Alright, now here's the translation. And the translation is a riddle of how to open the monolith. Broken only when the four corners of the world are bound together, when the first king ascends the throne again, when the last Copen fool has labored till the end of time. And basically, if you read Henrik's notes, all those things, they refer to 6 different jade carvings. The four corners of the world are north, south, east, and west, and each of them have a jade carving. The North Jade Carving is the one that was lost at the Chaco Canyon Cultural Center robbery. The south one was stolen from Prudence Rutherford. The east one belonged to Bishop Diego de Landa. The west one belongs to Henry Daddle. We have his phone number. We're going to call him. The Copan Full was the Trickster Rabbit glyph, which we have to radio for delivery. And the last king ascending the throne is the Pakal carving. So when we find all 6 carvings, or jade pieces, when we get all 6 of them together, we will be able to open the monolith. So let's get to it. Let's start with this one. Let's start with the North carving, which was lost in the Chaco Canyon Cultural Center heist. Now, we have the phone number for them. It was on the card on Henrik's desk. It's 1-505-555-1222. You can call them twice, but we're going to hear the first time you
Chaco
call.
Canyon Cultural Center.
Hi, I'm hoping to speak to someone about the theft that happened there recently.
Are you the press?
No, I'm a detective investigating a similar crime in Washington, D.C.
This is Sheila Schultz, the director. What would you like to know?
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from the Beach Hill Museum in Washington, D.C. I understand you had some rare Maya artifacts stolen recently.
That's right. It's a terrible loss, and the police here have no leads.
Beach Hill was robbed, too. We lost one of our prized jade carvings.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
I'm wondering if the robberies are connected. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about the incident at Chaco Canyon?
Fire away.
Okay, so this is the first time you call, which is when Nancy's investigating the theft of the jade carving. And the second time you call is at this point in the game when Nancy realizes she needs a copy of the carving in order to open the monolith.
I heard the thief left a
Got
red
it?
handprint
Got
at
it.
the scene of the crime. Is that true?
It's true.
Yes, it was
It's
very gruesome. It looked like blood, but according to the police analysis, the print was made with a mercuric sulfide paste.
You know, the way Sheila Schultz talks, it kind of reminds me of Sergeant Mac Ramsey from Nancy Drew, The Final Scene. Everything, all the sentences are kind of clipped.
Do you know of any symbolic meaning attached to a red hand?
Don't walk, don't go there, talk to the hand, as my 15-year-old would say. Really, I haven't the slightest idea.
Haven't the slightest idea, not the slightest idea at all.
What types of artifacts did
Oh, I
the
like
thief
this
get away
voice. I'm
with?
going to do it again.
Only the center's most prized
it.
pieces. The case contained 5 pre-Columbian artifacts that were excavated right from this area.
Do you have a list of the stolen pieces?
I know those pieces like the back of my hand.
The back
There
of
were
it.
3 pottery pieces, a small stone figurine with a snake head, and an ornamental jade carving.
The ornamental jade carving, huh?
I'm interested in the jade carving. What did it look like?
It was highly unusual. There was a glyph on it that no one could translate. Until we hired Henrik Vanderheun, that is. His opinion was that it's Mayan in origin, and that it may have been a place-name glyph for this area. As you can imagine, we regarded it as something of a regional treasure.
Okay.
Could you send me a photo of that jade carving so I can take a look at the glyph?
I'm afraid I sent our only print off to the insurance company. They said they'd return it, but who knows when our claim will be processed. I'm sorry.
Thanks a million, Sheila.
Feel free to call if you have any more questions.
See, that's exactly what Sergeant Mac Ramsey said in Nancy Drew The Final Scene. That's why she reminds me of him. Okay, let's call them again. Now that Nancy knows we need the jade carving in order to open the monolith, we can hear the conversation about getting the jade carving.
Chaco Canyon Cultural Center.
Hi, this is Nancy Drew calling.
Hi, Nancy. It's Sheila. What can I do for you?
I've just got to get my hands on a replica of that jade carving you lost. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head, but maybe one of my staff will have a bright idea. I need some time to ask around. Can you call back later?
Sure thing.
Feel free to call if you have any more questions.
Okay. So basically, we're going to call them later on in the game, and they will be able to help us get a hold of that jade carving.